was born in Massachusetts. I didn't have a very grand entrance into the world. I was the daughter of an unwed mother back in the day when it wasn't popular at all. My mom loved me and did the best she could. She met my father, and I grew up always thinking, of course, that he was mine and I was his. He was a broken man. My years were spent with verbal abuse, being told I'd never go anywhere in life, never do anything, and that my sole purpose was to care for my 3 younger brothers, and if I was lucky, I'd have 12 children of my own, but never the means to care for him. That's what he used to tell me. He was a drunk. He was cruel, and it was my life. I grew up fighting for survival. I never understood why he didn't love me, although I kept trying. And one day as a young teenager in a drunken rage, he called me a nasty name and then said, "Get her out. She's not my daughter anyway." And that was the day that I found out he was not my biological father. With more questions than I had answers, yet feeling slightly relieved, life went on. Later, I did decide to pursue my biological father, but he also wanted nothing to do with me. It was crushing, but I did the best I could to forget it all and just move on. I decided to go to college, but shortly after I was there, I quit. Because after all, I wanted to be a rock star. Maybe I couldn't get my father's love, but as a singer, the audience loved me. I traveled all over the world, and I became very successful. My goal was always to get a record deal. No matter how hard I tried, there was something seemed to be missing deep in my soul. I just felt empty. And then one day, in a Kenneth Copeland meeting in California, I cried out from my spirit. In my heart, I never said it out loud, but I kept asking God, "Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?" I sat down after praying. A man immediately came through the crowd of over 10,000 people, up my aisle, down about 10 chairs, and handed me a handwritten note. He said, "God wants you to have this." I opened it up, and the first line read, "You've asked me, my daughter, what do you want me to do?" As I just started weeping, I knew right then that God was real, and I knew I wanted everything that He had for me. Years later, I found myself in Las Vegas as one of the most successful impersonators on stage. I would witness in bars, lounges, clubs. Wherever I was, I would share Jesus if I could. Later after that, I was married and we wanted a baby. I knew that the time was coming for a change, and there was a position in church that was opening as a receptionist, so I took it. Now at the time, I knew I'd have to lay down performing in the world, and so that's what I did. It was really challenging because I used to be able to make $2,000 in a few minutes for singing, but now, many weeks we would wait from check to check with only $30 to our name. There was really no sign of any great change, but we knew that God was faithful. I served in my local church for over 16 years, still just getting by, but we kept tithing and we kept believing. And then suddenly God gave me an idea for a witty invention that I launched, and it won a grant from Huggies. Our product is going to launch nationwide, and money is no problem for the Lord. I no longer sing for the world, and I only sing for Christ. And I know that He's called me to preach a message to the world and to the generation that's lost. And my message to the world is that if God can use this broken girl who was rejected not only by one, but 2 fathers, who had a background as a rock singer, who had confusion, anxiety, anger, and frustration all throughout her life, then there is no limit to His love and mercy. I intend to tell everyone I meet how much He loves them and how great He is.